See, I just stood nearby. That was enough for me. 300 men were driven out of Düneborg, and they dug a pit. The following day, they returned, men, women, and children. They were counted, and then they were forced to undress. Then 20 of the women had to stand close to the edge of the pit, naked. They were then shot and fell down into it.
How was it done?
They were facing the pit. Our men came up close to them and shot them through the head. One man gave the command, and 20 people fell into the pit, like clay pigeons. I went back to the car, turned to the SS man in charge, and said to him, I forbid you once and for all to do these shootings outside where everyone can watch. If you shoot them in the woods or anywhere else where nobody can see it, it's up to you. But we get our drinking water out of the wells here, and we can definitely do without corpse water.
General Kittel protests against the execution of Jews, but only because its secrecy cannot be guaranteed, and because he sees a threat to his soldiers' drinking water. In reality, the reserve units of the Wehrmacht largely cooperate in the mass murders.
In Trent Park wird eben deutlich, dass die Wehrmacht an allen großen Kriegsverbrechen des Dritten Reiches beteiligt gewesen ist. Die Gefangenen sprechen über den Holocaust, auch die Beteiligung der Wehrmacht am Holocaust. Die Gefangenen sprechen über die Ermordung der sowjetischen Kriegsgefangenen, auch die Beteiligung der Wehrmacht daran. Die Gefangenen sprechen über die Euthanasie, Geiselerschießungen und so weiter. Und in diesen Gesprächen wird eben deutlich, dass es nicht ausschließlich Verbrechen der SS, der Gestapo, des SD waren, sondern dass die Wehrmacht in führender Position an diesen Verbrechen beteiligt gewesen ist.
And yet from the very beginning, the officers and generals of the Wehrmacht try to unload responsibility for the executions onto the SS. In their luxurious prisoner of war camp, they prepare their line of defense.
The SS did things unworthy of an officer during the mass executions. Things that every German officer should have refused to do. It would be politically desirable for the German officer corps to say, we have nothing to do with these people, but I'm not sure. We would get very far by saying that. They could immediately reply, oh yes, Captain what's his name is a German army officer. Colonel what's it is an officer. And they did exactly as the SS have done.
When I am asked to testify, whatever I say, I intend to twist it in such a way that the officer corps is cleared of everything. I'm absolutely determined.
It is still not known how many Wehrmacht soldiers were involved in the crimes. Even if, as conservative estimates indicate, it was only 5%. On the Eastern Front alone, that would be 500,000 men. According to Nazi ideology, Russians, Jews, and other minorities are subhuman. The greatest enemy is Jewish Bolshevism. And many Wehrmacht soldiers take these beliefs literally. General Wilhelm von Thoma, one of the more self-critical of the generals at Trent Park, gives a shocking example.
And then the captain says to the lieutenant, damn, I can't stand seeing these farmyard faces anymore. Takes out his revolver and shoots the farmer who he had personally invited over and blows him across the table.
But he was severely punished for it, the captain.
Just wait a moment. The woman screams boo murder, sits herself on the stove with her children and starts crying. The captain then says to the lieutenant, see to it that I can get some peace and quiet. He draws his revolver and shoots the woman. There's still the girl, a 10-year-old boy and a 2-month-old little baby. Suddenly, yep, she's got to go too. And he just shoots the girl. Now it's a 10-year-old boy's turn. The captain says, take him outside and shoot him. He was killed by a shot to the neck. Now there was just the 2-month-old little baby left on the stove. Then he said, get that animal out. He chucked it down, grabbed his food, and threw it out into the snow. I had them court-martialed. The captain just said, we didn't shoot any human beings. I asked for the death penalty for both of them, a public execution, shot by their own company. They weren't punished. They were just sent to some punishment battalion.
A minority of soldiers, like Friedrich Hassenstein, are appalled by this coarsening of human nature.
Dass dann also sehr viele die Gelegenheit gerne wahrnahmen, unter diesen Vorzeichen Dinge zu tun, die sie als Zivilisten nie getan hätten, und damit ihre verborgene Neigung in der Richtung von Sadismus und Freude an der Gewalt und so weiter zeigten. Das waren sehr viele, und ich fürchte also, dass ich da von einem sehr pessimistischen Bild nicht loskomme.
Peter Schilling doesn't want to be party to this any longer. He takes action. He drives to the Swiss border.
Ich lag etwas oberhalb der Straße an einem Rand von einer Bewaldung. Habe die Straße beobachtet und ich glaube, ich habe 1 oder 2 Streifen gesehen und hatte da einen gewissen Rhythmus entdeckt. Jetzt ist eine Streife gekommen und dann wird es wahrscheinlich eine Viertelstunde dauern, bis die nächste Streife kommt oder so. Und ich dachte, ich muss runter, muss auf die Straße springen, muss dann über die Straße, muss in den Stacheldraht. Und der Stacheldraht, das war nicht einfach so ein Stacheldraht, sondern ein richtiges Drahtverhau. Da musste ich reinkriechen. Und ich wusste, in dem Moment, wo ich da reinkrieche, kann ich nicht mehr nach rechts und links ausweichen. Da kann man mich so abknallen wie einen Hasen. Und das war ganz, ganz grausam. Das ist das einzige Mal, wo ich fürchterliche, schlotternde Angst hatte. Als ich dann durchgekrochen war, wie ein Wahnsinniger, habe ich einen Knüppel gepackt und gegen die Bäume geschlagen und Geschrei gemacht und hier bin ich, ihr könnt mich nicht mehr und kriegen und so weiter. Und ich war auf der Schweizer Seite.
While Peter Schilling is making his bolt for freedom, in the east, Soviet POWs are systematically being starved. About half the 6 million Soviet prisoners die of hunger. The German generals, now themselves prisoners, know they are guilty.
During the winter of 1941 and 42, at least 3 to 4 million people died of starvation.
They gave them too little to eat. That was the great crime. They are human beings. Even a Russian is a human being, damn it!
We acted like wild beasts, not like civilized people.
In Yugoslavia, attacks by partisans and snipers are feared more than anything else, especially since the Serbian uprising in the fall of 1941. The Wehrmacht responds on its own initiative, largely without the participation of the SS, and with extreme violence. Frequently, civilians are arbitrarily selected and killed. It violates all the rules of war, but it happens every day. Colonel Eberhard Wildemuth was a witness. In Trent Park, he describes this unpleasant period to a fellow officer.
In Serbia, I was ordered to have 100 people shot for every dead German, and 50 people for every wounded German. But I never carried out the order. In one Serbian town, when the commandant had 2 dead and 3 wounded, he rounded up 350 people and shot 200 Serbs for the dead men and 150 for the wounded. about 2,400